so popular around everyone else, and props to
Gotta have
TSM
good
for that
brand.
one. And now we are into picks and bans for Game 1 of this incredibly important match. I do want to point out, by the way, if TSM wins this match, if I did not do my math incorrectly, it locks in TSM and Immortals at 1 and 2. C9's already lost. Liquid, if they lose, those teams are both stuck at only 8 wins with 4 left to play, and TSM and Immortals would both be at 13 or higher match wins. So all the buys would be spoken for if TSM takes out Liquid here.
Makes a lot of sense. Getting into the bans now. Going through them pretty quickly. Talia, Sivir taken off the table by Liquid, and TSM responding with Vladimir and Shen. Lourlo had some great games on Shen, and definitely do not want to be giving that over.
All right, Braum dropped off the table, Sivir gone as well. A lot of sort of commonly seen bans, and yeah, I think Shen is one of the more important bans against Liquid. You mentioned it a second ago. I know I talked about it with my cat with Irene yesterday as well. I think Shen is just a really big deal for Liquid as a squad.
Yeah.
It does a lot of things for them.
Definitely does. Vladimir, something I was talking a little bit earlier with Patriots, actually has a terrible win rate this patch. In competitive play, it's under 40% win rate, but it is still very highly prioritized as far as picks and bans go. Has not been having nearly the same success as it did in the previous patch, where it was up around 77% win rate.
Right.
So a pretty big difference there.
Specifically, FeniX has been actually smashing on the champion. But you're right, like it's funny because we play so many more games in North America. I saw Karma, for example, is over 100 plays in NA this split.
Yeah.
And it's like 53 and 50. It's like, you guys are first picking this champion, and she's +3.
Yeah.
With 100 game sample size, it was actually pretty reasonable.
It is, and sometimes you have to take it a little bit in consideration, like what teams are picking it, right? If it's a team that's at the bottom of the table picking it all the time, they can add to that. Baraya is going to be the last ban, and Lourlo. Will it be Azir? Yeah, so
No.
Azir gets locked in. That's definitely a FeniX special. He's been known for this for so long now.
And you can see the ban rate very high, and Azir kind of deflating the pick rate, but look at win rate, 62% for that champion. There is the Karma picked up, as well as the Rek'Sai. Those seem to be the standard S-tier picks in those roles, but of course you can still answer the Azir later with a Victor or a Cassiopeia or something, and I don't think TSM are actually too sad about getting a first pick mid laner taken away.
Not at all. I mean, they lose a first round mid laner, but they gain basically the best support and the best jungler right now in most of these teams' minds. So
right.
They're definitely going to have a good start to their draft, and the question is, what can TL get back? Dardoch going to be locking in the Gragas, which has really been having a lot of success and is kind of rising in priority, it feels like, to kind of that second place spot, above the Elise, above the Nidalee, at least in North America. Jhin, the next selection here, not really a big surprise, as Fabbyyy has been fantastic on those sniper type champions, the Ashe, the Jhin, the long range engage ultimates.
I actually got to talk to Fabbyyy briefly about that choice of champion and you know, playing those kind of guys all the time. Yeah, real quick, LeBlanc in the mid lane for Bjergsen. There's the counter pick they're going for. Let him pick the Azir. Try to play a counter matchup and blow him up. Bjergsen, if he's good enough, can do it. But yeah, getting back to the point about Fabbyyy and playing Jhin every game, I don't think is really selling any strategies away, because every team you're picking these champions. It's like, so, you know, how are you going to feel when the meta switches back to playing more hard carry AD carry? He's like, that's great. It's what I want to be playing. Like, this guy was known as a big Draven main, but he's like, Sivir and Jhin is the best right now. So I'm just going to play them.
And playing for the team is working out incredibly well for him. Liquid has a lot of success with this guy. And DoubleLift and Biofrost locking in a very powerful duo lane here. DoubleLift loves the Lucian.
Yes.
And Lucian, when paired with Karma, is very scary to deal with, especially for a champion like Jhin, who does not have nearly as powerful dueling potential as someone like that.
Yeah, he can definitely get run over, so things to watch out for here. Last picks come through for Liquid. It'll be the blind pick top lane Trundle, with a Nami support coming through to try to answer that pretty scary Lucian down there. Of course, Karma will be going bot lane as well, so we know that duo. And now TSM get their counter pick top laner. CLG's idea was to play Gnar into it. The champion is available. TSM could easily play that themselves, or play the Bruiser War if this Irelia goes through.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see Irelia. It's something that Hauntzer has been playing a ton. I like Lourlo on the Trundle. He's been doing work on that champion for so long. Since back, before any of the nerfs, it was extremely powerful, was always playing it then, still having a lot of success on it these days too. And it will be that last pick for TSM. A lot of options here, as you said. It could be something like Gnar. Irelia would make a lot of sense too. You can go more aggressive split push type options, like some of the others, but it's going to be Irelia getting locked in here. So TSM rounding out their draft, and gotta say I like it.
Yeah, you look at what they got here, and it's very individualist. You're seeing not a lot of obvious team fighters here when you compare what things like Azir and Gragas do. So they're doubling down on the strategy. They know the 5-on-5 is not going to be great. You don't want to bring Gnar into a game where you've already got LeBlanc versus Azir. Like, that's just such a difference in style. So Rek'Sai, the cream of the crop for junglers, and here's two individual matchups you're trying to snowball and have completely smashed. In fact, every single lane for TSM in some way should have priority.
That's what I was going to say. You pick winning lanes. They're a fantastic team. We even had Liquid talking about it. Well, maybe they're not better mechanically, but they work so well synergistically. And when you have a team that's firing all cylinders, working really well together in the early game, they can carve out these advantages for themselves in already winning lanes. If they're able to do so, it'll look good. But for TL, if they can go late, Azir is always going to be very powerful, and they want to set the pace and really kind of slow things down.
All right, we'll see if Liquid can do that. We do have a remake of picks and bans real quick. Liquid's going to have the dodge, so we will get ourselves into the game soon enough, but the coaches have shaken hands, and the match will begin shortly. Give us a couple of minutes, we'll get there. But yeah, right now, a huge difference in styles across these two teams. TSM, again, priority in all their lanes, very advantageous matchups, and trying to take out the early game over Liquid, which actually has been Liquid's strength so far as a team. They say, you know, mechanically we're very good, in lane we're very strong, it's just a matter of shoring up their own shot calling, and Liquid can shore that up by just having a better 5-on-5 team, show up at objective, win them for free, but they've just got to be able to make sure they can handle the strong laning phase of the TSM champions.
They're also going to have to be very careful about picks. Anytime LeBlanc is on the map, you have to be extremely careful about your jungle pathing, where you're walking to. Oh, you want to walk over and take that dragon? Great. LeBlanc's sitting in the bush and one-shots you. So you have to be very cognizant of where Bjergsen is, and a lot of that does kind of double down on getting him ahead, because if he's not ahead, he can't have nearly as much power in those side lanes and in those kind of 1v1 scenarios.
Yeah, and that's going to be a fun thing to watch for then, is how well can Liquid play around this, because a lot of the players in this roster are still fairly new. Some of them had some time to cut their teeth in the Challenger Series, but you know, how many LCS games have these guys had against Bjergsen's LeBlanc? Like, legitimately, right? Like, Fabbyy's like, all right, well, here we go. I'm up against the #1 team, and oh gosh, it's the best mid laner in the league on the Premier Assassin. Like, here we go. And this can be very hard. Sometimes you'll just see difficulty because you're running around through Fog of War. You can be one shot at any time, and that can make your options very difficult, and that can always be scary. Talking about Fabbyyy as a player, I got to, again, talk to him before the games, and I had interviewed him in the first couple of weeks, and he was visibly very nervous. You saw him like leaning away from the microphone, and he had told me like, yeah, I'm very nervous on stage. It's suddenly called up to fill Piglet's shoes. And I talked to him about that today, and he's like, nerves are totally gone.
Yeah,
I feel completely safe on stage, completely normal. I'm ready to go. I'm full power here. And honestly, Fabbyyy, as well as the rest of Liquid, have continued to improve over time. And here they are, ready to challenge TSM.
And Fabbyyy, it's understandable that he would have been so nervous. Moving into a team like this, you're replacing a world champion. There's going to be so much spotlight on you. Liquid, a very popular team, a lot of pressure to perform, and not only equal but exceed the performances that Piglet has shown. So there's a lot of pressure on this guy's shoulder. He's met and exceeded that now and has every right to be feeling good.
And so he will. Getting ourselves now into the game shortly. The picks and bans were remade. Same champions, of course. No surprise there, but that timer's ticking down. And so in about 45 seconds, we'll pull up the rest of the graphics. The game will start loading in, and we will get this match underway. And I can only hope it's at least half as good as the match we had earlier. CLG versus Cloud9. If you missed that one, I recommend you go back and watch. It was an excellent series between those two teams. But now, Liquid and TSM, two teams in the top 3 in North America here. TSM have yet to even drop a match. If they win this one, they lock in a first-round bye in the playoffs in week 7. With 4 matches left to go, they can barely even move down to the standings if they lock this one down. Certainly one of the best teams we've ever seen in North America. Liquid, probably the best version of Liquid we've seen in NA. They've been getting better and better and better over time, and even in this highly competitive North American 2016 summer split, these teams look great. So vote for who it's going to be. Hashtag TL win, hashtag TSM win. You know the drill here. 2 of the very best teams in North America doing battle for all of our pleasure. The crowd is ready to cheer on their favorite squads, and here we go into game 1. Let's time for some quality League of Legends.
Always looking forward to quality League of Legends with you, Phreak.
Thanks, man. Same.
Alrighty, so here we go. Interested to see if anyone's going to come up with kind of interesting level 1 strategies. I do think that TL is going to be trying to avoid the 2v2. At least that's my kind of gut reaction as far as going up against DoubleLift and Biofrost on these 2 champions. It feels like it could be a bit of a death sentence for them. Jhin definitely can be abused pretty heavily, but at the same time, Nami is a strong laner. You can have the sustain, maybe last hit under turret, just kind of get out of the way that way.
30 seconds until minions
Yeah.
But,
spawn.
you know,
It's
until someone
salvageable,
shows.
not beautiful.
Yeah, until someone shows, we don't really know.
All right, well, TSM so far playing mostly in the fog, actually allowing TL to walk into them. Bjergsen drops his trinket ward 55 seconds in and walks away, so clearly an orchestrated early game for TSM. Biofrost checks a brush, doesn't find anyone. And I don't believe anyone ever saw Matt. All they did know was that Biofrost tossed a Q in, so Karma was revealed to be near the bot side of the map. Liquid can play around that information. They're actually keeping Fabbyyy down here by the Krug, so it looks like we will have matching lanes right here. The duo lanes facing off on the bot side. The top laners living up to their names. We'll see if the jungle starts are anything interesting right now.
Looks like they're both going to be doing a camp. Both top laners leashing for their junglers, and we will get the standard lanes that I love to see. And now, you know, TSM should be pretty happy with this, and they'll have to see what they can actually get out of these lanes. You know, what edges, what advantages can they carve out here against TL? TL should be very confident. They talked about their equal skill as far as mechanics go, and now it's time to prove it.
It is time to prove it. We'll see what comes out of this one here. Early push from FeniX into Bjergsen. No surprise for basically anyone. Yeah, makes a miss one minion. Bjergsen didn't want to use a spell the last hit it. He's still got a full mana bar. So -1. Good job, FeniX. Level 2 is going to come in right now, and FeniX has not pressed the advantage, as he knew Bjergsen was going to level up soon enough. Nice stun by Hauntzer. Lands an auto attack. But Lourlo always ready to land his Grasp of the Undying trigger if he ever does get into combat. Hauntzer does not want to get that one auto attack trade, but Lourlo says, don't you dare. And with a nice pillar, gets a significant chunk. Very well played by Lourlo in this matchup.
Yeah, a lot of people just take your W level 2 on Trundle, but if you take that pillar, it's very hard for people to actually escape your trade, and you're able to get a lot of early damage out. Bjergsen, looking to go aggressive, wants to get that trade in, but taking a lot of exit damage.
He did take quite a bit, but he knew that FeniX had already, I think, burned his Q, so he knew there wasn't going to be that strong of an answer back, and gets what damage he could. I think still came out ahead slightly.
Oh, Dardoch looking for it. Kind of anti-timing here from Biofrost, perhaps. Svenskeren's coming down.
No, that's really, really smart by Biofrost. He knows the exact timing. Dardoch did Gromp blue-red, and you know that if they start topside, it takes you 3 minutes to get down there. Looking for the play right there. Biofrost dodges the root, but here comes Svenskeren on the other side, forcing the flash away from Dardoch, and now DoubleLift part of this fray as well. Exhaust is on. The flash knock of the follow up first blood. Svenskeren knocked up by a bubble, but it's not enough. Now Matt's running out of HP, and DoubleLift's going to find himself 2 kills already. What a great start for TSM.
They may go for the dive here. It looks like they're trying to set up as Sven's coming around the backside, wants to make it a clean triple.
Well, some of the heal is up for Fabbyyy. He's going to the flash, rather, was up for Fabbyyy, but now he's got no ways out. It's going to be Biofrost maybe pulling aggro. Does do so, gets himself the kill. Nicely done. TSM 3-0.
3-0, 3 minutes in. That is just brutal for Team Liquid. And DoubleLift, a massive beneficiary here. And look at Svenskeren, so smart. Biofrost baits him in. Sven's hiding in the Dragon Pit. They started off with so much damage on Dardoch, and he flashed early, but no chance to get out. Beautiful double knock up there by Sven. Matt had the return bubble, but there's no chance of being able to chase this down and get a kill for TL. And then DoubleLift gets a lot of damage in. Biofrost finishes up the poke, and TSM executed this very, very well. So they put the damage in. DoubleLift knows the red buff's on, so he can't enter turret range until that expires. He waits, it expires, he goes in, they finish it off, and TSM with the dream start to game 1 here against Liquid.
Absolutely wonderful by them. Even Biofrost said, I'll pull aggro, self-shield block the turret shot.
Perfect.
And the dive went so very well. 2,000 gold lead already here. TSM are winning this early game. Very beautiful.
It's definitely a scary...
Yeah.
Scary world to be in when you're Jhin with 12 CS up against a 2-kill Lucian coming back to lane.
Enjoy that one.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's got himself the serrated Dirk already versus a longsword. It's not going to be easy. Dardoch now looking for the play on the top side of the map. A nice pillar, damage on the Hauntzer. Jumps in, gets body slammed up, and now only going to land this slow. So Hauntzer escapes the play without even burning a summoner spell and wants to fight back on a Dardoch because it's, no mana left on the Gragas. He knows he can get that one in.
And Lourlo, I'm not sure if he actually got creep blocked there. It looked like he may have got kind of caught up on the creeps. That, or he just didn't feel like he could give away that wave in chasing, because there was a huge wave at his turret, and if you give up that farm and you don't get the kill, it's a disaster.
Right, you lose half a kill worth of gold in the first place, and what you would have gotten doesn't mean very much anymore. Svenskeren looking to return to the scene of the crime is notified there's a ward there and says, it's a pink one. Yep, let me kill that real quick.
will take that out, and they can continue to pressure this side of the map because any remotely even fight is going to go heavily towards TSM, who has just such a big advantage right now. Bjergsen needs to be careful.
Dodging away from FeniX. One more hit would have killed him.
He actually stuttered his auto. He might have had him.
Yeah, it was honestly very close. FeniX still had Flash available to make a chase happen, and now a level 6 Azir, but Bjergsen will just have to take the wave clear, and lucky for him, actually, is allowed to do so and kill off the caster minions to tie up the minion farm before they both recall and teleport back in. But at this point, no harm, no foul. They'll both get back to the lane at a reasonable time. And
TSM has a bit of a freeze going on. They're denying a lot of minions here, and Fabbyyy is just getting zoned off so heavily. 44 CS to 19, and DoubleLift is going to be to 6 so much faster than Fabbyyy. If he gets 6, it could be devastating.
this is rough stuff right here. Liquid in the matched lanes, not feeling good about this duel right there. The early kill, the gank by Svenskeren, certainly very important. And,
yeah.
A large mountain to climb back from right now, Liquid.
Look at Dardoch too. The CS discrepancy in the jungle is massive. It's almost double. It is doubling his farm right now.
Yeah.
29 to 14. Dardoch was really trying to make that bottom lane gank work. He was camping out in that lane for so long, trying to equalize that disadvantage that they have, and it doesn't pay off, which means Svenskeren power farming is going to be massively ahead. Picks up Swifties, Sightstone, and is off to the races.
Jeez, yeah, the races especially. Burrowed Rek'Sai with Swifties just zipping around the map, honestly. And DoubleLift individually nearly doubled the gold of Fabbyyy. It was like 3K to 1,700, just ridiculous leads right now. And you imagine you just keep going back to that lane. You know TSM hit level 6 first. Cullen can clear the wave, set up the easy dive, and can Dardoch even match Svenskeren when that gank even happens? You think it'll be likely. Thankfully for Liquid though, FeniX has priority in the mid lane. So Bjergsen is actually not allowed to roam without losing a lot of farm. FeniX also given a pretty timely blue buff to keep that pressure on, and with the Negatron cloak, you think he won't be pushed out too easily. And there's definitely some tools here for Liquid to keep themselves afloat. But
And if that bot lane tragedy hadn't happened, we'd be talking a lot more about these here and how well it's going for FeniX. But right now, it's just super overshadowed by what else is going on, and they're looking for the invade.
this is TSM having their one opportunity to make the play happen. Because FeniX grabbed the blue buff, Bjergsen got priority this wave and this wave only. Joins Svenskeren, fights the red buff. In fact, they're going to be able to get this. It's on a ward, so it's a smite fight, but Sven over-leveled, should get it. Nicely done. One blue buff pickup was all TSM needed to say, hey, let's all go bot side and steal a buff away.
Yeah, and Svenskeren is just bullying Dardoch out of his own jungle, going to look to take even more away. Matt's coming around. Did Svenskeren overstay?
Oh,
nice ulti.
he did overstay. The bubble is there, and Sven had to realize the dual lane was around. He's going to flash and get his shield, and somehow he lives anyway. What a tragedy that Liquid failed to grab the kill. Sven, though, slinking out. Lourlo, maybe one of the only good lanes, can actually kill Hauntzer onto the turret. And in fact, he's going to do it. Lourlo with the solo kill on Hauntzer.
Wow, Lourlo giving life again to TL, and if he can get a big advantage in the top lane, maybe they can make something happen. They needed that, even just for the morale.
Oh, that is a beautiful thing to watch. So now Liquid have finally a pressure point they can use, maybe open this match up and get it to the team fight phase without getting rolled over. Maybe, just maybe. Bjergsen still knocked around under turret. FeniX is winning in this matchup, and it's a matchup that Bjergsen wanted to play. He picked LeBlanc, seeing that Azir was in there. So this is FeniX blind picking and so far being rewarded for his play so far. Liquid refusing to say die just yet.
Lourlo also, okay, never mind. I was going to say TP advantage, but he's going to TP right back up there. Wants to stay ahead on the farm, and he knows Dardoch is behind him. So can Dardoch get up there and maybe make something happen? Both these top laners have no flash, so the next jungle gank could be pretty explosive.
As long as you don't outplay the body slam, it's going to be a pretty secure capitalization. Of course, Svenskeren can do the same. And right now, Lourlo, without wearing the ultimate, not having the cooldown, he does come into this pretty squishy, only wearing a ruby crystal for durability right now. Bot lane's still brutal. It's still double the CS. This isn't like, oh, 9 to 18, there's a wave up. It's 46 to 96. This is ridiculous. 50 CSD at 10 is almost unheard of. That's like
completed Ghost Blade at 10 minutes.
Yeah, like I've only seen this when Jensen played his very first game against TSM at the beginning of the, last year's Summer Split, I believe it was?
Yeah.
And he just hadn't acclimated to competitive play yet.
I think they actually won that game, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, but
He
Jensen
was down
getting,
like 120 CS.
it was,
won. Yeah.
it was ridiculous.
I do remember the game. I was actually in the stands.
Oh, nice.
I was watching.
Nice.
Maybe you were casting. If so, I was listening to you.
I think I was in the analyst desk. I don't think I was casting.
sure you had some great points.
Maybe.
Debatable.
I've only been in the LSS once all split, so...
I was going to give it to you, Phreak.
I appreciate that,
but it's okay.
I value honesty. I appreciate the compliment,
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so completed Ghostblade against the Dirk. Feels bad for Fabbyyy. Not much else to say about that. They're on the run. But they got to be hermits now and move around the map.
But this is smart. This is Liquid saying, okay, we don't want to match the 2-on-2. Trundle has priority. Have the dual lane join him. At worst, we trade resources, but they're still first in the place. That turret's still going to be dropped rapidly enough. Okay, double flex is down. That's fine. Again, it's at worst a trade right now. I don't think it gets much worse for Liquid here.
Yeah, an equal trade is actually very good for Liquid because the farther you go into the game, the less that gold lead means. As long as it's not extending, you just want to keep it even. But TSM may actually get a 2-for-1 as DoubleLift is doing a ton of damage to this turret here in the bot lane, and TL bailed out. I don't think they're back in time, so this is going to be a 2-for-1. It's not that even trade they're hoping for.
So the way Liquid knocked the turret down, they lost most of their minion waves. They didn't choose to stick around for the next 30 seconds to wait for another. TSM actually kept their wave alive, and that push was just much better by them, so I take it back. Liquid not keeping enough minions up, managed to lose an extra turret on the trade. Some of that, of course, DoubleLift's damage, but even still, well done by them.
He does so much more damage than Fabbyyy right now. 2 levels up, has the completed item. This guy is going to be a monster.
But Liquid had 3 players. They were doing that with Lourlo the whole time. Like, theoretically, Liquid should still be faster. Oh, the bubble. Matt's going to get found out. DoubleLift with a speed boost. Is it going to force the flash? Yes, it is. And Matt guessed the correct direction to go. DoubleLift did not. He gets away, but losing both summoners for that. And look at that. TSM now actually farther ahead. It's 3.4 thousand, actually. Much higher than it was not long ago. It was only 2K after the triple kill in the bot lane. It's now double.
They're trying to push it in. They're trying to make sure there's no way that Fabbyyy can kind of recover here by getting a freeze, by really trying to stall it out. So they want to get it to the inhibitor, and getting that chunk on Matt is making them feel comfortable to do so. They get it in, and now there's no freeze happening for Fabbyyy. Good stuff there from the TSM bot lane, extending their advantages. Lourlo up here, though, trying to extend his. He'd love this red buff if he can pull it away, maybe.
No smite for either jungler right now. And that means Sven shouldn't be able to be around here. They're going to get it anyway, though, as Hauntzer rejoins the fight. Explosive Cast gets rid of the TSM top laner, but the Void Shark is the happy recipient of the Crest of Cinders.
Would have been good for Lourlo had he been able to pick that up, give him even more of an edge in that 1v1. And this is TSM camping it out. They know they have such an edge, and Dardoch just wants nothing to do with his bot lane. It's basically a abandoned ship on Fabbyyy and Matt. They are just out on their own, and DoubleLift, and he's allowed to push right to the inhibitor, set up picks in the jungle, and just try to look to extend that lead.
Okay, so now maybe we see a little bit more out of this one as TSM now the ones clearly able to make the calls first. Cole maybe fully stacked up for DoubleLift. He's down to his Berserker's Greaves, going towards his next armor penetration item with the long sword in the inventory. Certainly still going to be very powerful and able to find objectives to kill. Maybe they pull the trigger towards mid lane, maybe it's top side. Hauntzer right now, maybe prepping the top side of the map if that does happen.
One of the other things that's really tough is you talked about Fabbyyy going up against Bjergsen, incredible mid laner, playing this assassin, and usually when you are an AD carry, you want to build some sort of like a Maw or at least a Hex Drinker or something to give you a chance of not getting one-shot by this LeBlanc, but when you're this far behind, you can't afford to actually really do it. You need to build some sort of damage to be able to deal with the front line, and it puts you in this awkward situation where you don't have enough damage, you don't have enough survivability, you're kind of just short everywhere.
And he will probably get Maw second, but that's a 3,000 gold item, and he's still not done with his Yomo's Ghostblade yet.
So
it's
far away.
It's far away. It's almost going to be 30 minutes when he gets that item done. DoubleLift will probably beat him to that pretty easily. So a simple Cloud Drake picked up by TSM.
Here comes
and
the TP, they're looking for it.
The long play. Sven ulting down to the jungle. Here's DoubleLift, but he's baby bunting up before they get you. Gets popped right away. That was not a good play by TSM. And now Biofrost
on the backside, though. They don't see him.
Away. Okay, here comes the capitalization. The teleport in for Lourlo. Hauntzer not matching, so TSM may be trying to abort on the play because they're still not pulling the Irelia in, so it's the chance for an escape. FeniX going to get rooted up, though. A lot of damage coming out of Biofrost. Is going to be forcing the barrier out of him. Svenskeren wants to chase. Bjergsen chased out by Lourlo, and maybe the appetite was too much. A nice jump in by Dardoch forces Bjergsen to run, screaming and hiding. Ulti pop puts the chain down, and he will be able to get away from Lourlo, saving his own life. All said and done, TSM losing a member, and that's all.
They do lose some summoners. Also, double summoners gone at Biofrost. Bjergsen uses his TP, so a nice turnaround there for TL. That's something they definitely needed to get done, and DoubleLift a little too aggressive. kind of dove forward into that CC and got himself killed before Bjergsen could complete the pincer move. So in goes DoubleLift. They know they're around. They see Fabbyyy, but they do not expect this. There is nice CC chain. Matt and Dardoch just lit him up.
Now that was beautiful play right there. So props to Liquid for pulling off the bait properly. TSM sadly over-eager without quite the right vision. Hauntzer had gotten some free time on the top side, wasn't able to kill the turret off, and he's actually still behind in the matchup. So we may still see Lourlo get advantages yet. He's done with his Satanic Hydra, but Hauntzer's done with Trinity Force. So the first big power spike is in for both bruisers.
Yeah. And Lourlo, you know, he TP'd for the team and still has that CS advantage, so he's doing very well. Bjergsen, nice trade onto FeniX. FeniX has to be careful now.
He's got to run away from this one. DoubleLift has culling up. There's plenty of damage available. Svenskeren also has flash, so we can go for the Unburrow and surprise his opponents. And in fact, it just means that the rest of Liquid have to hide away. Nicely done, TSM. Get the rotation into the mid lane. Bjergsen sets it up, and the team is right there behind him.
Another conversion. Rotate the bot lane to that mid lane, just keep extending it. It looks like they maybe want to go for the Herald now, or perhaps just the top lane tier 1. This kind of 3-man squad from TSM is just moving around the map, knowing that TL cannot hope to match their power at this point.
Oh, well, Dardoch's still waiting in the wings, though. Maybe we see something happen as Liquid have sent the resources to defend on this top side, but TSM not going to pull the trigger, not pushing in too hard. Just a couple of wards to be cleared out, and they will back away cleanly. DoubleLift being sent to hold this top side of the map. The rest of his team, though, retreating. Hauntzer does hold teleport. He can join in whenever he wants.
I imagine he wants to get that bot lane wave. There's a pretty big one building up, pushing towards them. So they'll be happy to pick that up. And since he has TP, no problems about responding to any moves TL wants to make on the top side.
Well, we'll see if Liquid can respond, though, because TSM just holding this gold lead that makes it easy for them to do whatever they want with this game, as long as they're not heavily outnumbered. 5,000, 17 minutes in. Sizable for sure. Liquid will need to do some pretty heavy lifting to turn this one around.
Yeah. They really have been making some good plays, though, picking up a couple kills for themselves. And, you know, Lourlo with the solo kill in the top lane, going to be hoping to continue his advantages and really try to extend that lead.
The nice thing for Lourlo is he's got a pretty easy path at building just a ton of armor. If Bjergsen blows all of his cooldowns just hitting a high health Trundle, I don't think it's really going to push him out. So Lourlo can be nigh invincible and be a real carry force in this game. He's got the highest farm on his team. He's got one of his team's only kills. That can certainly be the way to win.
I agree.
Highest level on his team as well.
I think Bjergsen definitely will not want to spend too much on him, and especially if you are building HP instead of just like a fourth card or something, because that can make it pretty squishy. Dardoch takes away the blue, though.
A well-timed barrel popped it. Outsmites Svenskeren with a regular ability. That was really nice by him.
At least it didn't go over to FeniX, so that is something for TSM, and if you pressure them in, sure, the jungler grabs it, but it's not the end of the world. And TSM, once again here, back on Fabbyyy, taking a lot of damage from the culling.
Yeah, hurt up a bit. Gonna pop the traps, try to get away from the root. He's gonna be okay with
Dardoch's
this one.
waiting.
Dardoch waiting for the play in case there was a dive, but there isn't one. He's gonna
Here
go
he
in, lands it, pushes in, DoubleLift. That's gonna be the layered CC, and one more hit will do it. Biofrost trying to take the curtain call, but doesn't even matter. Oh, he's gonna be able to run away. No, he's not. Dardoch wants in, and DoubleLift wins it anyway. It's actually multiple kills for TSM. That is a 3-for-1 so far, and Lourlo could be the 4th. It's a bad sign for Liquid, as they've been unable to find much purchase.
They set up such a good play, but the bot lane is too far behind. They have no damage, and nice rejection from
FeniX. Yeah, pushes him out, still gets popped away by Bjergsen. The wall falls down, and Lourlo gonna be next up, running for dear life. Hauntzer with a flash slow. This could be it. One more attack will do it. As soon as the Q comes up from cool, then he's dead. Gets him down, 8-3 and kills. TSM up 7,000.
It's a delayed ace for TSM as they come up huge, and it was a good try from TL. If Fabbyyy wasn't so massively behind, DoubleLift would have just instantly died, but he is, and DoubleLift able to survive so long with Biofrost. Great job from them. They get the first turnaround kill, and it set the stage for the collapse.
And a lot of comments about TSM say sometimes they just look angry.
Yeah, and here it is once again. Really nice engage, honestly. Fabbyyy, though, does not have the damage. She's actually caught reloading during that, so couldn't even get more than one shot. And look at Bjergsen on this dive. Didn't even catch that in the initial play. Solos out the AD carry. DoubleLift able to make the outplay. Kills off Dardoch. No hope for Matt. And Lourlo maybe should have just even canceled that TP. He gets in there. is going to be eventually taken out as they re-engage.
And that fight would have been so different if Bjergsen weren't there, because Fabbyyy would have gotten the rest of the curtain call off. It would have gotten the kill on DoubleLift. It probably would have gotten the kill on Biofrost much sooner. Biofrost actually dead right now, by the way. He was caught out, so Liquid holding a 5v4. I didn't see how they picked him off, but that is a dead karma.
So Gragas was able to pick him off during that replay. They get a catch, so a nice play from Dardoch nets them a kill. They're going to need a lot of these little plays, though. They have to constantly get picks, constantly chip away at this lead, because it's 8,000 gold right now.
Right, Liquid are getting individual kills. TSM gets triples. And you're trading 1 for 3 and 1 for 3, and Liquid got a pick, and then nothing else because they're too far behind. Even the 5v4 wasn't even that forceful. So
the farm is becoming a big problem also, and here it is once again. Biofrost pretty far up there. Dardoch makes the turnaround, pops him in. Yeah, that was really greedy from Biofrost as he gives away a freebie. But TSM will take the dragon, extend their advantage, and it's not just the kills, it's the farm. If it was only the kills or only the farm, it wouldn't be as bad, but they have everything, right? You have 70 CS advantage on DoubleLift, and he has 3 kills. You're up 20, 30 CS on Bjergsen, and he has 2 kills. So it's looking so good.
Yeah, specifically Svenskeren's up 1,600 over Dardoch right now on this Rek'Sai in the farm and the kills he's been a part of. So substantial lead. Lourlo wants the duel with DoubleLift, and he's got curtain call. So how is he going to get away from this one? Oh, he misses one of the snipes, and Svenskeren helps to tank it away. So DoubleLift turns out a trade of 2 ultis for 1, but that is a loss of priority. TSM have to heal their AD carry back up.
I think Lourlo would have had him in the 1v1, but had to respect the rotation from TSM. Does not give away his life, as the overchase would have certainly resulted in.
Yeah, so proper tempered expectations for Lourlo here, who is still holding one of the few kills on the team and hoping he can win this game. Up 3 minions on Hauntzer, one of the few winning matchups his team actually has. In fact, the only one who has more farm than his opposite member on Liquid, but it feels like those opportunities are still few and far between to abuse that advantage. Dardoch pops a tunnel over a ward. Svenskeren wants to be part of this one, running right in, and yeah, he's going to find some damage on a Dardoch, and you can see that this Gragas does not want to fight him. Svenskeren, Cloud Drake, and Swifty Boots, and Deadman's Plate. Very, very fast Rek'Sai can get all around the map.
With the mountain being picked up, it's pretty early still, but they can start to threaten Baron. They do have that additional true damage. They're actually going right onto the Baron, going to start it up, and it's the 3-man, so this may not actually be suspected at all from TL. Both the solo laners are still showing their faces, and I don't think TL has any idea whatsoever. Just now they're starting to ping it, but is it too late?
I don't think Dardoch's going to be able to get the steal because Bjergsen can zone him out. 2,800 health on Baron, no chance at all. Nicely done, TSM picking up Baron Nashor 23.5 minutes in, 9,000 the lead.
And now it is time for that gold lead to balloon. They can look to pick up the last 2 outers and just really extend it, and they may have caught Dardoch.
He wanted to get his own blue buff back, and he's going to die for this one. No, he's going to flash over the wall. Transcendent Blades transcends him back to the fountain. Nicely done, Hauntzer.
I love it. Very well done by Hauntzer. The sniper play on Irelia. Jhin who? He's the sniper now. We do take down this tier 2.
Look at me, I'm the sniper now.
There you go.
That's the one we're going for here.
Yep.
Oof, TSM just, this is what TSM angry looks like. This is why everyone is afraid of this team. This is why so many people think North America looks so good this split, because of teams like this, how vicious they are, how efficient they look so frequently. Players and shot calling together
have rarely, if ever, seemed to slip up this season. And Dardoch going forward wants the blue way too far, and he is going to pay with his life. Ultimate gets dropped, and Hauntzer able to keep vision for a little second there, and then anticipating the movements of Dardoch takes him out with the ulti. And they're going to be moving topside. Bjergsen wants to push us in. They still have the Baron buff, looking to get the last outer, extend the gold lead even further, but it's 11,000. And when you're that far ahead, it can very easily become diving time. It's just so hard to deal with the pressure of these waves, plus all the additional items.
And I believe the reveal on Dardoch was the Karma W. It'll reveal you for the duration of it so that you can keep watching the tether, but even if it's broken, it seems like it still gives you that sight. And it allowed the shots in the darkness work out here. 2 work out for Hauntzer.
Yeah.
So TSM, how long is it going to take you to win this game? Because it seems almost a foregone conclusion here. A comeback would be extremely rare here for Liquid, but they are still in the game.
With this gold lead, they could actually end it on this Baron buff. If they're able to get the correct fight, we'll see if they're going to be able to do it. Just the AD carry difference is so massive. 4,000 gold up, and Bjergsen's looking for Fabbyyy.
And that's only landing 2 buttons. If the chain was there, he was absolutely dead. You can see Fabbyy's still not able to put the Hex Drinker or Maw in just yet. He actually went straight to Dirk first. Not wearing his stats makes his life, of course, quite a bit harder. Bjergsen plenty of magic pen in his build. Hauntzer gets hit up, but just the damage is not there. Explosive Cask wouldn't have meant enough. Svenskeren zoning on the left-hand side. Turret taking some more damage, but DoubleLift still giving respect to Dardoch's Explosive Cask. Sven finally does leave the base for now.
Yeah, no need to rush it as you have your solo laners off in the side lanes. Bjergsen takes down that tier 2, so they're going to have both Bjergsen and Hauntzer pressuring on those inhibitor turrets, and this is where it gets so tricky. Bjergsen and Svenskeren are already in on the turret. TSM could go for this, or they can just go right back to mid lane. I think that's what DoubleLift is going to do. They're going to get both.
Back and forth, back and forth. Top lane and mid lane inhibitor turrets are killed within 2 seconds of each other. And now, 2 open inhibitors. Top lane still taking damage from Bjergsen, always making sure that he's nearby his team.
Hauntzer making the collapse. They're going to look for the fight.
Dardoch couldn't find the engage. He's the one getting hit instead and gets popped up and killed off by DoubleLift. Bjergsen also looking for the flank on the side, but just hits that poor little inhibitor. Again, nearly gets the kill, and Fabbyyy pulls out the exhaust from Matt, and all of Liquid's base is dying. They just don't have the gold to fight back. The items are simply not there. DoubleLift a full item and a half ahead.
And Irelia is going to take down the bottom inhibitor turret, so this is going to be a triple inhib, if not just the game. TSM may want to play it safe. Bjergsen's TPing back in, though. Are they going to go for the end? I think the safe play is just back off, spend your gold, because they just picked up so much.
Yeah.
But they're so ahead already. They could just try to end it.
Sitting in 1,000 to 2,000 gold per person. There's the pop. He finally lands the chain, and Fabbyyy didn't flash nor heal. He didn't think he needed it, and he was gone. Now the tidal wave comes across, only tags 1 person. TSM about to close this one out here. 16,000 ahead. Slow and steady. Maybe even fast and steady. Again, looking for the play. Chunk on a FeniX, bit of damage on a Matt. And now the minions are coming in. No supers yet. They're still running across the map. And that does mean TSM say, you know what, our health bars are getting low enough. We'll try again a little bit later, but...
Yeah, there's just no reason to risk it. If you look at this game, if there's any way that you can lose, you lose. And it's overstaying here. Go back, spend all your gold, complete your items, walk down mid lane as 5 with triple inhib down, all the super minions in the world pushing in, and there's almost no way for TL to defend.
Definitely the case. So, the fat lady, she's not singing yet, is certainly warming up her voice right here. This game is all but spoken for. TSM looking at the sub 30-minute game 1 victory.
Look at the AD carry itemization right now.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. And we're going to have a replay of this kill, and it's just the QR. That's it.
Oh, and Thunderlords, wow.
That's it. He just based, he gets a death cap, he comes back, had 2 shots Fabbyyy, literally. Ridiculous. And TSM closing the jaws here, looking to take game number 1.
Super minions flooding into the base. Liquid hoping to defend right here under their Nexus turrets, but it seems unlikely. Hauntzer pulled back over a second, but they are giving respect to Dardoch's engages. They know Explosive Cask could turn this one sideways, so TSM playing with a little bit of respect for Liquid's chances. No Baron up on the map. Dardoch chunk to half. It's going to buy him some time. Cullen getting some damage as well, but Hauntzer taking a lot of damage from soldiers. Down to 2/3 HP. But the minions flood in. This one's going to be the Nexus turrets dropping down below half HP. One more auto will do it. That's 1 destroyed. The second one's going to be up in front of him. And now it's only onto the Nexus. TSM maxing out their fantasy points and going for the game win right now. Dardoch down to 1,200 HP. Nexus in front of them. That's going to be the game. TSM have now won 15 straight games of League of Legends in the North American LCS and show no signs of stopping.
Just ridiculous. TL is a team that almost beat Immortals, who we're right now saying is the second best team in the league. And TSM just makes it look easy. It's ridiculous. From the very start, they got a massive lead. They extended everywhere. Really, the only blemish to this game is Lourlo maybe getting the solo kill on Hauntzer. But besides that, the game is flawless.
Yeah, for every kill picked up, it was several more picked up in response for TSM. Individual picks could not do it for Liquid. So a smashing of a game 1 win. So now for a recap, let's send it back to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. TSM, commanding, dominating victory, whatever word choice you want to use for it. Very similar to some of the Immortals games that we saw earlier today, but our top 2 teams are just tearing through the competition.
Yeah, my boys. I want them to have close games. I think TSM wins no matter what, but you don't want to see it go down like that, where just like one monster mistake early really tilts the game out of control, basically, where you have to play so immaculately, and the other team needs to mess up.
Yeah, I was about to say, you were kind of commenting behind the scenes about Team Liquid always just that one half a step, or there's always one major mistake per game that keeps them from actually competing against the teams that are above them in the standings. So we'll see. We'll diagnose maybe what that was and if they can fix it. And so with that, I do want to dive right into replays, because 3 minutes into the game, 3 kills going over to TSM. That's not something you ever want to have happen.
And the most annoying thing for me is that, like, TSM was not playing scared. Dardoch had been seen for a little while here before he goes for that body slam, and it just sets him up to get out of position. So Sven comes over the wall and kills him. He was already kind of out of position. Sven could have came over earlier, but it just sets up this play even easier, where now Matt's dead, and then eventually they play the dive extremely intelligently, slowly. They wait for the burn to go off from DoubleLift's red buff before re-engaging. All of it was really smart from TSM. But it's kind of off the back of Team Liquid not having like a filter almost to be like, this isn't a good play.
Well, there's that awareness, right, of like, okay, yeah, we have to look at player tendencies. For a 3v2, these guys are playing too aggressively, or they're not playing scared enough as they should be. That means Svenskeren should be in the area.
Well, as well as remembering common Rek'Sai routes, which is just ignoring one, taking 3, going to one side, that kind of thing, which is so common throughout the playstyle of this champion, because she came over the wall unexpected. And the thing that I also really liked about TSM, especially in the draft, was the LeBlanc pick. One of the strengths of Bjergsen, he has a champion pool absolutely massive, and against the likes of Jhin, Nami, Azir, and Trundle, LeBlanc is always going to go double distortion in, and you cannot do a single thing about it. And she just kept wrecking people over and over with no answer to it. So that's something else that Team Liquid is going to have to consider into the draft.
Right, Team Liquid's CC is pretty low here. You basically are hoping for like a Nami bubble, that's like a god tier bubble, or Gragas E to stop the LeBlanc, who has no threat. So that was actually a really smart pick. You don't see a ton of LeBlanc, so props to Bjergsen for going with that one. Team Liquid could have maybe drafted something, but at that point, it was the champ pool was kind of tight on support.
Well, and draft doesn't necessarily change 3 kills.
Right,
you know, that's the thing. It's
no,
like
not
that's not a product of the draft. And as we see TSM on your screen now, DoubleLift and Svenskeren, two of the members of that squad that pick up those 3 kills. DoubleLift being a huge beneficiary of it. 2 kills early on, comes back to lane with a serrated Dirk against a longsword, quickly mounting a CS lead of 50 by that 10-minute mark. I mean, that's just...
It turned out to be close over 100 at one point.
Yeah, I mean, the way that the dive worked, too, is they had built a wave. Fabbyy's going to be behind anyways, and then the wave pushes back after the dive to DoubleLift side of the lane. He's up so many items. Fabbyyy can't trade, and then CS for DoubleLift is so easy because he's never pressured on a cannon or anything like that. He's just getting free CS, essentially.
Now, Team Liquid found a pick or two after that to maybe kind of shorten that goal lead up just a bit, but 19 minutes in, once again, 5 kills going over to TSM here in a 5-0, full ace in the top.
A nice little attempt onto DoubleLift, but unfortunately, it's really hard to predict the bubble into the Gragas ultimate. And as soon as they overcommit for DoubleLift, Bjergsen from the backside. You got Svenskeren coming from the back as well. Strength of the composition, being able to go over walls like that. And they just clean the house at this point, which they're trying to salvage it by trying to kill DoubleLift, but it's already way too late. The damage is done. The fact that they're able to convert just so much, and FeniX just never even got a chance to be a part of this. So they made a play without knowing where everyone on the map is, and TSM just punishes so hard.
I said 5-0. That was unfair of me. It was a 5-1.
Yeah,
we'll
give Team Liquid a good look.
We'll give them the credit for the 1 kill in which they had to crazy over chase down the lane in order to pick it up. But yeah, TSM here, a team that has skirmished very well in setting up their plays, but then actually, you know, in those incremental kind of micro fights, DoubleLift putting on a display there of micro for quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, from just that one mistake, snowballing so hard, I mean, they got to whip out the belt because the punishment was coming. They just completely snowballed this game off 1 play, which is rather impressive.
Yeah, and the thing, too, is I think Team Liquid actually played the game decently from there. They never got redove on the bot side, despite TSM having double TP, and then they swapped out of the lane, and they didn't back early enough to trade the turrets quite properly, but it was still like the right idea. And then Lourlo gets a solo kill, and there's these like little glimmers of like Team Liquid knowing what they're doing, but that they just get like, they basically just get like knocked out in the first round. They're like, you're just trying to make it the rest of the way through the fight. Like, you're wobbly, it's not gonna go well.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing, and that's, again, it just reiterates your point of like, they, for 95% of the game, are playing it as well as maybe TSM plays it. But if you can't patch up that 5% of the game, those are those advantages that make it so every even fight from that point onward is now skewed in TSM's favor. Player of the game going to Svenskeren on Rek'Sai, 1-0 and 7. for that pathing. I mean, he's there for that counter gank on that initial replay, picks up 3 kills. That's the launching pad they need to win the game.
I think that the kill participation, it looks a little bit low for somebody getting player of the game, but to be honest, when LeBlanc is able to 2-shot people with Q and R instantly,
Hard to participate.
It's hard to be. Yeah,
You got to get those prey seekers in there. I want to see. No, like, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, definitely not the easiest thing to have the KP be up there when you have assassins in the game, but it was about that early pressure being the launching pad for the rest of the team. Let's look at game 2 then. All right, we talk about Team Liquid being able to match up against TSM in most areas. How do they shore up the weaknesses then?
Well, it's easy to get rid of that game. Just say, we actually just made one massive mistake. Don't make that mistake. Now we can actually go toe-to-toe, because they did the exact same thing against Immortals when they lost game 1 brutally, and game 2 they won, and just bring it to a game 3. So it shouldn't be too impactful on them, and honestly just shrug it off.
All right, game 1's in the books. Game 2 between TSM and Liquid is right around the corner, so keep that URL pointed right here. We're back with more League of Legends in just 3.5.
When you have a team that's firing all cylinders, working really well together in the early game, they can carve out these advantages for themselves in already winning lanes. If they're able to do so, it'll look good. But for TL, they can go late, and Azir is always going to be very powerful, and they want to set the pace and really kind of slow things down.
Okay. Let's go, boys. Let's win.
Exhaust is on. The flash knock of the follow. That's first blood. Svenskeren knocked up by a bubble, but it's not enough. Now Matt's running out of HP, and DoubleLift's going to find himself 2 kills already.
Got top. Nice. Top flash, top flash. Nice job, dude.
Nice save.
Run away, run away. Coming from behind.
I can't TP right now.
This is fine, this is fine. Just survive, survive.
Jhin is dead, Jhin is dead.
I'm TP, can we fight?
I'm low. Azir is coming.
Yeah, we're fine.
I'm in river. I'm like 10 seconds away, ult team 15.
One more attack will do it.
It's a delayed ace for TSM as they come up huge.
That's going to be the game. TSM have now won 15 straight games in the North American LCS and show no signs of stopping.